What's going on, everybody? So we're going to be wrapping up the NFL regular season today, man. Week 17, wow. The way it unfolded, a lot of coaches being fired. They deserved, every coach that was fired deserved it. Some coaches got away, which is not, it's not cool, but they found a way to get away, whether it's, this douchebag Jason Garrett or whatever. Listen, we're going to get into that as we go through the teams, but NFL Week 17, it had some playoff implications for some games. Some games it was just like, all right, let's just see how these guys are going to just wither away and die someplace. There was a lot of choking going on, primarily the New York Jets, who we're going to be talking about first. But let's take a step back, and if you guys are new, this is the Week 17 recap. If you've missed any recap before this, definitely go back. It's available on iTunes and Android, GmiasWorld Podcast, and right here on YouTube. So you can go ahead and check that playlist out. Give me a follow on Twitter and let me know what you're thinking about it. But we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. The Jets at the Bills. The same identical score that they lost to them earlier in the year, 22-17. Let's just talk about some of the things that's going on. All right. Todd Bowles, I believe that this was the highest amount of points that the Jets has ever scored in franchise history, which is good. So we're going to we're going to give people credit where it's due, because this is a passing league. It's a league about yards. It's a league about getting the ball in the end zone as much as possible. So we're going to give him some credit. We're going to give Todd Bowles some credit. What I really don't like about what happened with the Jets is that it was too much of a high expectation because of the defense. And what I mean by that is, Darrelle Revis, who was just getting murdered by Sammy Watkins all the time and just looking around like he didn't know where he was. His islanders look like it's starting to deteriorate a little bit, but that's besides the point. The bottom line is this. Let me just, let you guys know what I'm thinking about it, because I watch all these games simultaneously, flipping through the channels, bam, 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 whatever, sometimes having them all in the same box. But some games I watch more than others just because of the impact of the game. Now, we knew if the Jets won, they were in. So I knew automatically they would lose. It's poetic justice. You fire Rex Ryan comes back, and he beats you and he takes you out the playoffs. It always happens like that. Not to say that Rex Ryan was a good coach with the Jets. Pretty much he did the same thing with the Bills, ran his mouth and they lost, and couldn't control his players to shut the hell up and just go out there and play. And that's the biggest problem with Rex Ryan, team management and understanding that these guys have to know and be focused on the game itself and not just want to run their mouths. But the bottom line about it is this. I knew the Jets would choke, and that's coming from a New Yorker. The Jets have been disappointing. This is nothing new. This is not nothing that is like, oh, wow, bro, I can't believe it. Like, if any Jet fan this morning is saying they can't believe it, they should slap themselves across the face. Because this is what the Jets do. It's not something that is fascinating and it's like, wow, I can't believe it. No, this is what the Jets do. Now, just think about it, because I told you guys earlier, and I even made a podcast about it in the beginning of the season, about IK Kampali that broke Geno Smith's jaw. You guys are lucky that he broke his jaw, because if he didn't, Geno Smith would have started, and this wouldn't even be a situation. You guys would have known you weren't making the playoffs from the beginning of the season. If Geno Smith started any game and just continued to be the starter, the Jets wouldn't have won anywhere near the amount of games that they did win. So you guys better be thankful for the Harvard grad, Ryan Fitzpatrick, that he's able to do what he had to do. But at the end of the day, we all know that Fitzpatrick is going to throw a pick. He's like Jay Cutler. We know it's coming. We just got to wait to see when it's going to happen. And he threw some very, very ridiculous picks. I'm sorry, bro. I was very happy for them, the way they were moving. Jet fans, I was happy to see them smile. Ryan Fitzpatrick was horrible when they needed him the most. And that's the bottom line. You got to be honest with yourselves. He's not a guy that can come back next year and be the quarterback. He can make some throws, but when it comes down to it, he's not squeezing the ball in there like he's like, I don't know who to describe him as, because Aaron Rodgers sucks right now. Tom Brady hasn't been looking good either. I don't even know who to describe him as. Who's playing well right now? You know what I'm saying? Carson Palmer's a bum. Like, everybody's just sucks right now, in my opinion. I'd have to probably say Kirk Cousins. He's the only person throwing dots right now. Let's be realistic about it. You know what I'm saying? He's the only person throwing dots right now. Let's just pump the brakes and just think about it. Who's really performing right now on a consistent basis? And it's Kirk Cousins. And it makes me want to throw up to say it, but this man is just throwing up dots. Continuously doing it. And it's embarrassing that they would put the ball in that situation inside, Fitzpatrick's hands. It was a lot of situations. You know what makes the Patriots in the past successful? Screenplays. Throw a fucking screen. Excuse my French. Throw a screen to the running back. You don't have to try to, squeeze it in and do it. You're not going to do it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, you're going to throw a pick. Throw a screen pass. That's how you take some ease off the quarterback. If you look at history with the Patriots, a lot of their stuff, like third and like 155. And they'll just throw a screenplay, pick it up. Make it manageable so that you don't have to force it. Because they had enough time. It wasn't like it was a rush. And that's what the Jets always do. So Todd Bowles wasn't able to change that culture about folding under pressure. And that's my biggest issue with the Jets. When you're looking at a head coach, you want to see if they could change the way that the past was. Like, you start looking in a different direction so that we're not those old Jets. Todd Bowles did nothing to change that for me, in my opinion. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. It doesn't look like his emotion is real. I don't know if he can't change his face, if he had plastic surgery. He just looks like he just looks weird the whole time there on the sideline, like a mannequin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Bill Belichick has that same dumb face, but he shows emotion when something's effed up. He'll give you a little smirk. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something weird about Todd Bowles, and I don't understand it. Maybe because I don't know if he's fat or skinny anymore. I don't know what's going on with him, but something's weird about him. When we look over at the Bills should have done a lot more than what they accomplished under Rex Ryan this season. That's the bottom line, man. With that team that they had, the defense didn't play nearly as well. The offense struggled at times. I understand Tyrod Taylor, the first time starting for a while, long time backup to Joe Flacco, all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. He had a very, very high QB efficiency rating, something that's higher than Rex Ryan has ever had as a head coach. So if the defense would have played the way that they were capable of playing, I think the Bills could have done a lot more. Even with the Patriots in the division, we see how the Patriots faltered towards the end of the season because of injuries, etc. So my biggest issue is what Rex Ryan did with this team. I don't think that he did anywhere near what the Bills were capable of. And I don't think he did enough to be fired. I'm just saying I wouldn't expect much from the Bills as long as he's the head coach there. Unless he stops the talking and starts to perform on the field and encourages his team to play better on the field. If that doesn't happen, the Bills will continue to be the Bills as long as Rex Ryan is there. But I do think that with the draft and a lot of things that's going to be going on in the offseason, I think the Bills have the capability of being a contender next year. I just don't like Rex Ryan as a head coach. That is my problem. The head coach title, he doesn't know how to manage the team and make them understand. Let's keep it out the media. The same way Deshaun Jackson didn't hype up the game against the Eagles, that's how we should have explained it, to LaShawn McCoy. Shut up and let's go out there and play. Not saying it to him like that, but you know what I mean. Because everything was about LaShawn McCoy, and that was a critical loss that they took. And I just think that Rex Ryan is not the guy that should be a head coach with that mentality that he has right now. I understand he's a coach for the players, but he's not a coach for success in the NFL. Patriots at the Dolphins. Patriots 10, the Dolphins 20. Dan Campbell is supposed to be getting fired very shortly. This may have changed some of their thought processes. Either way, I believe he's going to be fired regardless. The Patriots are very, very depleted at O-tackle, O-line, everything like that. Offensive tackle, guards, everybody, bro, they're bringing people off the street. There was a bum blocking for Tom Brady yesterday. He has no time in the pocket. Let's just be honest about it. You can only be as great as your offensive line, is capable of giving you that time to be great. Even if there's like a subpar O-line and you get a little bit of time, but he has no receivers to throw the ball to. You know what I'm saying? So right now, they got to use they're the number 2 seed. They got to use this week. They got to get healthy, man. They got to get healthy, because if they don't get healthy, the Patriots are done. And I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, I just stepped away from the Patriots, bro. I was just saying, like, maybe they, I was scared of them getting healthy, stuff like that. The injuries are really hurting this team right now. And it's not good to lose to the Dolphins in the last game of the season going into the playoffs. I'm sorry. It's just not good to lose to a bum team. Like, when you lose to Tannehill, that's not a good look. And Tom Brady has really, really struggled. And it's starting to show now. He injured his ankle. The Ndamukong Suh, allegedly, I don't know if they're going to call him for a dirty hit or whatever. I don't know. but they were going after Tom Brady's legs a lot yesterday. A lot of those linemen were going after his legs. And, it's a lot of hatred and stuff like that, but I don't like that the NFL is pretty much gearing the defenders to go towards the legs. The quarterback gets a little bit of, a pass with certain things, but they're actually training these guys to go lower body because of this whole concussion protocol. And I just think that it's going to end a lot of people's career prematurely. But primarily, the Patriots looked very, very horrible. They sucked. They couldn't stop the Dolphins on third downs. Tannehill was running the ball right up the gut. I guess they missed Vince Wilfork. He could still play. Like I see the Texans going to the playoffs. So, it's a lot of things that happen, and people got to make moves, and I understand that. But the Patriots look really, really bad, and I don't trust them going into the playoffs. I'm sorry. If they don't get Edelman, if they don't get these guys back, if they don't get healthy guys, people that can get open and make plays, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs. They're going to lose in the first. They're going to lose in the second round whenever they play after their bye. They're going to lose because they don't have enough right now. And guys, we have to understand that the NFL, you got to deal with injuries. It's something that happens. It's a part of the game. They don't look good right now, and I'm just being honest with you. Unless they get their guys back, they get somebody to block for Tom Brady. I don't care who they bring in. If they have to make Gronkowski an O-lineman, they got to have somebody blocking for Tom Brady because this man is just being pummeled. He's being destroyed. Guys are just smashing him all over the place. It's completely and utterly embarrassing. It really is right now at this point. So, I'm gonna hope that they can figure something out about getting some linemen and figuring out what they're gonna do as far as health of the receivers. But right now, these Patriots are not winning anything. The Dolphins, on the other hand, good win. Lamar Miller stepped up. It doesn't really matter. The team sucked all year. Dan Campbell may be fired, as we know. This was a big win, though, to beat the Patriots. But in the history of Tom Brady, he's always struggled against the Dolphins in most cases, so it doesn't really matter about that. But as far as the Dolphins go, I still don't like their upside. I understand that you don't pay that much money for a D tackle that's known for kicking people in the face and stomping people with his cleats. Ndamukong Suh wasn't worth all that money. Let's just call it how it is. I'm not hating on him for getting the money. I'm happy that he got the money. It just wasn't smart on the Dolphins' part to pay that money for that one position right there like that. And, Vernon and all these guys are not, Wake is injured. A lot of stuff happened with the team, but it wasn't worth it to pay one D tackle that much money. And that's what really, officially caused this major problem. And I don't see the Dolphins being better next year. I would take the Jacksonville Jaguars as my Florida team. And that's just my personal opinion. So good luck to Dan Campbell. Good luck to all the Dolphins fans, but I don't like them unless they get something crazy in the draft. I don't really like the Dolphins going forward. Saints at Falcons. Saints 20, the Falcons 17. I like that Drew Brees and Sean Payton was able to get this win. I don't think that Sean Payton will be back with the Saints. Whether it's a GM change, whatever the F is going on, Drew Brees may remain there. If he gets released, I'm pretty sure some other team will give him a shot. There's a lack of quarterbacks in the league right now. This game obviously didn't mean anything. Both these teams, the Falcons started off hot, then cooled down really, really quickly. This was just a game just to watch. Not a lot of playoff implications involved at all with any kind of scenario, no kind of mathematical equation like if this guy loses and this guy jerks off, this guy gets in, none of that. These guys, they weren't doing anything. This was a game for pride, and the Falcons pretty much ended the way that we saw them begin to falter towards the end of the season. And like I said, to see them win that game, the Saints win, that was huge for the Saints because it just makes more sense that it will be Sean Payton's last game there moving forward. And he got that win. But I don't know what Drew Brees is going to do. He has injuries, plantar fasciitis. He has all kinds of stuff going on. He's older. He's lost arm strength. He's still surgical. He still dot you up. But I'm not sure if he's that high-tier quarterback that we once saw him as. That's my concern. As far as the Falcons go, I know that this is hard to say. But if Matt Ryan comes back, that team will continue to struggle because Matt Ryan is a bum. And he's shown and proved that he's a bum, but he will get another chance because people don't care. But as soon as he starts off like that early in the season, I do believe he will be benched, and I do believe that he will not play again for the Falcons. I do think that he'll bring him back into the beginning of the season. He'll get the shot to try to show everybody, I can do this. I was never sold on Matty Dry Ice, and I won't be. I don't think he has the arm strength. I don't think he's that guy for the Falcons. I think the Falcons need somebody, more of a mobile quarterback, somebody like, a Vic that can throw the ball and just change the, with Devontae Freeman being there, maybe bringing a little bit of read option, something like that. That'll free up Julio Jones a lot more. Roddy White is on his way out. It's a lot of things they have to discuss, but I don't like the Falcons going forward. the way they are right now. And that's pretty much where I stand with them. Lions at the Bears. The Lions 24, the Bears 20. Look, man, I'm going to tell you this right now. Jim Caldwell, he's one of those coaches that he probably will get another chance, and they'll waste time and fire him during the beginning of the season, which will hurt the team later. Matthew Stafford, of course, he hooked up with Calvin Johnson in the game. Calvin Johnson had a big last game. We don't know if he'll be back with the Lions. I think, personally, that Calvin Johnson deserves a shot to play for another team if the Lions are going to remain the same with the same coaching staff and the same type of thing that's like Jim Caldwell is not the right head coach for the Detroit Lions. And if they choose to keep him there, all they're going to do is hurt that team. This man should go and start taking kids to soccer practice, going to Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks and getting a cappuccino with all kind of stuff on it, with the marshmallow top. He should not be a head coach in the National Football League. And it's nothing against him, bro. I'm just telling you by the way that he appears to look and what he has shown he can do for the Lions, it's not enough. He's not that guy. Matthew Stafford, I'm pretty sure they're going to give him another shot. For the most part, he wasn't as bad as people are saying he was. Do I think he should be let go? Probably not. I think he deserves another season. I think Matt Stafford deserves another season. I'm not going to go as hard as I did with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is a total outright bum. The thing that saves Matthew Stafford is his arm strength. He can get the ball down the field. Just get him some weapons, and he'll be all right. But I think it starts with the head coach change. Yeah, they won their last game, but Jim Caldwell's an issue there. And I'm not saying it to be a jerk. He's just not the right fit for that team. Certain players need certain types of coaches, and Jim Caldwell is not that guy for Detroit. The Bears, John Fox, I don't know how he got hired again. I wouldn't hire him, to babysit my dog, bro. Like, this guy, John Fox, is a joke. Jay Cutler, we all know what Jay Cutler is. Jay Cutler's going to throw you some picks. Jay Cutler's going to be what Jay Cutler is. I don't know what the GM was smoking. Maybe it was something from Breaking Bad when they gave him all that money. But we cannot hate on that man for getting his money. We have to look at the problem. The people that gave him the money. And that's the problem. Jay Cutler is not going to be surviving in Chicago much longer on this team. He's going to have to move. They're going to have to move him. They're going to have to eat some of the money. He's not the guy right now. The guy is, he's going to throw you picks. And I don't know any other way to say it. The man is going to throw you picks, and that's it. It's over. That's what he's going to do. Deal with it. It's pretty much what I have to say about Jay Cutler. I don't like the Bears going forward with John Fox as the head coach. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. He's not that guy. He hasn't been that guy since he left Carolina. You know what I'm saying? When you get fired from the Denver Broncos and you had winning seasons, it tells you something. He's not that guy. They need to stop recycling coaches and look in other places for people to come in and change the culture. I don't like the Bears going forward. Eagles at the New York Giants. As we all know, Chip Jelly Kelly was fired. And at first, I knew he was going to get fired, but, people were like, Chip Kelly's not he's not a bad coach. He's not prejudiced, all this stuff like that. And then Jordan Matthews tells Chris Carter that after he spun the ball, after catching the ball, getting a big play, that Chip Kelly brought him to the side and said, if you do that again, you're not going to be playing for me. That made me think, Chip Kelly's a jerk off. All the other things I was saying, the guy, he got, he deserves another chance. All that stuff, he doesn't. If you're that kind of coach that don't want your players to show emotion, and Jordan Matthews is not a bad kid. He's not out there trying to torpedo his head into people's nutsacks like OBJ. And I'm not saying OBJ is a dirty player either. I'm just saying Jordan Matthews kept his composure the whole entire season. He went out there and played as hard as he could. He made plays. There was no reason for Chip Kelly to do that. Meanwhile, Riley Cooper was doing whatever he wanted, jumping fences or trying to attack Negroes. Whatever Riley Cooper was doing, you sent him away to rehab, brought him back, and based on information that's coming out of the locker room, you never said Riley Cooper was doing celebratory things when he caught the ball, throwing it, spiking, or whatever like that. According to the inside of the locker room, nothing was ever said to Riley Cooper. And I'm not saying that Chip Kelly is prejudiced, he's this, he's that. I'm just saying it don't look good. And at first I was like, he's gonna get another chance with another NFL team. Nobody's hiring that fat moron. You know what I'm saying? When you look like Chip Kelly looks like that that kid that's about to go through a growth spurt that's just fat as hell and you don't know whether he's going to get taller or whatever. He just looks like a jerk off. And based on the history and everything that's been being revealed about him, it was very foolish for him to do the things that he did. Especially when the owner, Jeff Lurie, just said, look, we're going to take away some of the team control from you. He's like, no, I got this. Are you serious? You got what? You didn't do, bro, you got next, but nobody going to pick you up. That's pretty much what's happening to Chip Kelly. I'm very, very happy for the Philadelphia Eagle fans. Very, very happy for the Philadelphia Eagle fans that man was removed from that post. Because, like I said, that just rubbed me the wrong way with that Jordan Matthews thing. It rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like that kind of stuff because it's no need for it. We're in 2016 now. There's no need for this man to be in there doing the stuff that he's doing and be allegedly doing ridiculous things like that. It's just not necessary. I don't like it, and nobody else should either. Regardless if it's a white player, purple player, black player, the alien from American Dad, it doesn't matter. At this point, you know, as a head coach, you got to treat your players a specific way, and he wasn't doing that, and he deserved to be fired. He deserved it. That's pretty much what it is. And I just hope that the Eagles make the right choice going forward for head coach. That's all I can hope for that team because they have the talent. DeMarco Murray may not be the running back that's needed for that team, but they have the talent to make noise in the NFC East. As we know, it's a horrible division. The New York Giants, they had so many chances during the season to do certain things and to lock up the East. They never did it. Whether it was Eli Manning being a buffoon, guys just not making plays, guys fumbling when they shouldn't have, all of a sudden Rashad Jennings is running for all these yards. Where was that during the whole season? The Giants are just all effed up, and I don't think Tom Coughlin should be fired, but I think he will be. I don't think he's the problem, but I think somebody has to be the scapegoat, and you have to go to the head coach at this point. The Giants going forward, in my opinion, JPP should be released because he's walking around like Larry the Lobster. He got 3 fingers. He's walking around with a mitt, bro, like he's about to go make something like he's a chef. He has to go. He has to go. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. He has to go. And, it seems harsh, but he brought it on himself. In life, you make decisions that are life-altering. Sometimes it's truly not your fault. But in this situation, it's truly JPP's fault. And, when I say that, I had to learn as a man to be accountable for my actions. So if I was going to choose to do something that was dangerous, I had to know these are the repercussions of my actions. You've already made it into a position where less than 1% or some kind of ridiculous number like that from colleges make it into the NFL. You are a superstar. Not just a star, a superstar. But then you wanted to go play with fireworks. The Giants have a lot of decisions to make. I feel bad for those Giant fans because the team was good enough, even without Victor Cruz, to make the playoffs. And it just fell short time and time again. They need to look at the receiver position to give OBJ some help, and they got to look at the defensive side of the ball and put some real rushes on there with 2 hands. You know what I'm saying? With 2 hands to actually play that position. And that's the bottom line. Redskins at the Cowboys. Redskins 34, Cowboys 23. Keep in mind that Kirk Cousins was taken out of this game for a large amount of time, and the Cowboys still couldn't do anything. Keep in mind that Jason Garrett will be back as head coach when there's so many other coaches that are suitable and better for the job. But, in some positions, you're protected. And people can hate as much as they want, but that's what it is. Jason Garrett is protected because it gives the GM, Jerry Jones, an owner, all the power that he needs because he has a puppet there. And he wants to be the head coach, but he doesn't want to come down and do the head coach job. So he needs a guy there that he could pretty much control. And that's what the whole thing about the Cowboys is. And it's fine. If that's the way he wants to play it, look, Jerry Jones, he's living in his own world, bro. He got Jerry World, he got all that stuff going on. And these are the decisions that he's willing to make. But the Cowboy fans have to understand that what's in the best interest for Jerry Jones is not in the best interest for the Dallas Cowboys. And that's why it's very, very hard to be a Dallas Cowboys fan in this day and age right now. And that's all I'm going to say about the Cowboys. I'm never going to go through the whole fact that, Matt Castle is a bum. Brandon Whedon is taking the Houston Texans to the playoffs. I'm never going into all that. I'm just going to tell you just like that, guys. If you're a Cowboy fan, your team owner does not have your best interest at heart. Bottom line. Redskins. Kirk Cousins has been on fire. On fire. Okay? Was it the right decision to bench RG3? Yes. Was it cool to put him in a position like free safety and put him on defense and embarrassing him further in specific games? No. But guess what? RG3 can still play in this league, I believe, and he will get another chance someplace. And if he then goes somewhere else and is a bum, we can now write him off. But he's made a ton of money in a limited time that he's played through endorsements, through pay, through guaranteed money and stuff like that. He'll be fine. Let's not worry about RG3 like that. He'll be fine, guys. Okay? There's a lot of people out there struggling. RG3 will be just fine. But we have to give credit to Jay Gruden for making that switch and for putting Kirk Cousins in that situation. Because looking at the Kirk Cousins from last year, no sir, we wouldn't have thought that this stuff would be going on. But the way he's playing right now out of his mind, he deserves some credit. And we need to all give him some credit. And as far as the Redskins going forward, I don't know what I expect from them. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if they're going to win the playoff game. I don't think they will. But I don't know I don't know how they're going to build going forward for next year is what I'm talking about. As far as the playoffs, I'm not sure that they're going to win. But I do respect the fact that they took over a disgusting conference and just ran away with it. And they've won when they needed to win. When they needed to win. And that's pretty much all you can ask for, because even when people were saying that the Redskins going to lose this game, the Redskins going to lose to the Eagles, all that stuff, all they did was go out and win. At some point, you got to give the goddamn team credit. You got to give them credit and say, you know what? They went out there and they performed when they were supposed to perform, because guess what? The New York Giants didn't do it. The Cowboys didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So the Eagles didn't do it. Yo, what do you expect? You got to give this team credit. Are they the best in a team of garbage trash? Well, I mean, in the conference of garbage trash, which is the NFC East? Yes. But they performed when necessary. And that's the bottom line. Going forward, I don't know what they're going to really do with Garcon. Maybe we could get another year to Deshaun Jackson or whatever, keep his speed up. But, Garcon, sometimes he drops the ball. I don't know. I don't know what they would look for in the draft. I would start with the defensive side of the ball and maybe a running back. Because I don't really know about Matt Jones. I just don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but we have to wait to see how they do in the playoffs. And if Kirk Cousins can win a playoff game, they're going to have to pay the hell out that man. And that's all I can say about it. So kudos to the Redskins fans. We'll get to that, to the picks for the playoffs in a second. Titans at the Colts. The Titans almost won this game, which was almost embarrassing for the Colts. Chuck Pagano should be fired very shortly. Josh Freeman, bro, came in. He looked pretty bad, but they ended up winning the game. The Colts obviously didn't make the playoffs in a horrendous division. Chuck Pagano, like I just said, should be fired. He was a sitting duck all season. Whether Andrew Luck is healthy, he's not healthy. Andrew Luck was just horrible this year. A lot of people picked the Colts to go to the Super Bowl. That was stupid. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Some people will say it's not fair for Chuck Pagano to be fired, but guess what? It falls on the head coach. Going forward, I don't know how much more you got out of Frank Gore, man. I don't know how much more you got. So that, Andre Johnson, the whole team is in shambles. They might just release everybody pretty much. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So we have to just wait and see with that. But I think the Colts are a disaster at this point. And after they fire Chuck Pagano, I think a lot of other people are going to be getting released as well. That's the only way. And going forward with the Colts, they need everything new. They need everything new, bro. Look, they were just horrible. They were horrible. And I don't know what they're going to do about paying Andrew Luck. But I wouldn't pay him. I don't care what nobody says. This guy is going to throw you picks. He's going to do whatever. He's like the modern day Jay Cutler. And that's just my opinion about watching him play in the league. He can make some plays. He'll throw picks and then come back and win. But he's just too much of a turnover prone dude, bro. And that's all I have to really say about him. The Titans, Marcus Mariota has a lot of upside. I don't know what they're going to do with Malarkey. I don't know what's going to happen with the team. I think they need a running back and some receivers in the draft. I don't like where the Titans are going right now. I don't know what is going to happen with them. I just don't know about them, bro. Watching them play, I don't even know what the hell's going on most of the time. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know that Marcus Mariota has shown that he's injury prone, but I like his upside. I just don't know how they're going to perform going forward. And I don't know, you know, looking at it overall, I would have to go player for player to see what the Titans can do. But they haven't really looked good all year. A lot of it had to do with their coach that was fired. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see the Titans doing anything for a very long time. Even with a decent, unless they get a whole new scheme, they start to do things that the quarterback, you know, likes, running a little bit of option stuff. I don't know why coaches don't do the things. The only coach that I've ever heard doing stuff that the players want to do and gearing themselves towards the players is a Texans coach. You know, they were talking about it during the game. Like, these guys, you come in there, oh yeah, I got this scheme, and I'm the offensive coordinator, and this is the way it's going to go. Hey, idiots, you got to go based on the players that you have, based on your personnel to be successful. And I don't know when these idiots are going to understand that, and when these owners are not going to stop hiring these moronic head coaches. But if you don't, you're going to always get this end result. And that's why the Titans are as bad as they are right now, because they didn't utilize Mariota the way he should be utilized. And that's the bottom line. Ravens at Bengals. Ravens 16, the Bengals 24. The Bengals struggled, man. AJ McCarron is a bum. You know, he had chances to make some noise, do whatever. I think they're better off with Andy Dalton. The Ravens, I don't know what the hell they're doing. You know, they're just trying to make it through the season because they know that they'll come back healthier next season and things will be different. Steve Smith Sr. said he'll be back. I don't know how much of an impact he'll have. He's very old right now. I think he's like 94. We'll see what happens with that. But, you know, pretty much we don't really need to talk about the Ravens because they had no playoff implications. They did beat the Steelers last week, which could have affected the Steelers making the playoffs, but we know that the Jets choked, so it's all good. The Bengals, I don't know. We'll talk about them in the playoffs. There's no need to talk about them right now in the regular season. They always make the playoffs. They just never win in the playoffs. So we'll save commentary about the Bengals until next week. Steelers at Browns. First of all, Mike Pettin was fired, and that I've been saying that all season. They should have fired him from day one. Dude was a horrible coach. I don't care about, you know, people being released, all that stuff, you know, with Josh Gordon not being available, all that crap. I understand all that, but he made some very, very bad decisions, and he just looks like a human eggplant. He's a jerk off. Johnny Manziel allegedly didn't show up at all. He's pretty much saying, I want out of Cleveland right now. You know, they allegedly said he was at a Vegas club gambling. Then he took a picture with his dog and posted it on Instagram. I don't know what the hell Johnny Manziel's doing. All I know is he don't want to be with the Browns. And somebody else will pick him up and he'll perform better. And if he starts acting like a jackass someplace else, release him, his career's over. It won't hurt him. His family's very wealthy. Point blank period. The Browns suck. That's that. The Steelers got into the playoffs. Big Ben and that team is very, very dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers upset every goddamn team in the AFC. Let me just go on record saying that. But that's if Ben Roethlisberger plays like a prototypical all-star that he's capable of playing as. If he played like he played last week with the Baltimore Ravens, which he does sometimes, we all know where the Steelers are going. And that's it. I'm going to also now hold off judgment because the Steelers are a playoff team, and we're going to wait until next week. Jaguars at Texans. Texans 30, Jaguars 6. Brandon Weeden, kudos to you. So happy that the Dallas Cowboys released you, and so happy that you talk trash to Jerry Jones. You know when you said that he'll be watching the playoffs from his couch. That was very entertaining. The Jaguars, they ended the season very, very poorly. I do like where the Jaguars are headed. They need a lot of pieces, but I don't know why they came out and played like that against the Texans. The Texans just ramrodded them. It was embarrassing. We're going to hold off again any kind of judgment on the Texans because they made the playoffs, and I want to see what they do first before I give you guys the real deal. The Jaguars, however, they got a lot of work to do. Blake Bortles, he has a lot of upside, very, very turnover prone, but, you know, Hearns and these boys, he got some boys there that could play. You know what I'm saying? They could play some football, so you know, I like this team more than the Miami Dolphins or my Florida team, but they have a lot of work to do. Raiders at Chiefs. Chiefs 23, Raiders 17. Jamal Charles goes down. The Chiefs just keep winning. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to reserve judgment until after the playoffs, but I love the fact that the Chiefs are playing this well because guess what? They can go ahead and release Jamal Charles and give him to another team where he'll hopefully help and just part ways. Because they're a much better team without Jamal Charles. Bottom line. Raiders, Derek Carr, bro. Oh my God. Horrible playing. Horrible playing for the most part. I do want to say that I like his upside. I do want to say that I like the Raiders having a chance to win in the future when everything gets under control, and they can make some noise and there's some stability. But I don't like the fact that Derek Carr, is it Derek Carr or is it David Carr? I think it's Derek Carr, right? I don't like the fact that this man just loves to turn the ball over. That's the biggest thing. And the GOAT, Charles Woodson, has retired. That man has been an unbelievable defensive player from winning the Heisman throughout his whole career. That man is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I would have just loved to see him win this game going out, but it didn't work out like that. He's such a great player, man, and kudos to him. I wish him nothing but the best in the future. I'm pretty sure he's going to be like doing commentary or whatever. Dude is a monster. But Derek Carr, bro, I don't know about him. I don't know about his pass accuracy. I know when he's on, but I don't know about his consistency at the quarterback position. And that's what I fear for the Raiders. Jack Del Rio's fine. I think that he's safe. I just don't know about Derek Carr. And I gotta wait till the offseason to see what they're gonna be trying to do. But the Raiders have a lot of upside on the defensive side of the ball. I just think with Amari Cooper, if you give him another weapon, Crabtree was decent, and I think they signed him to an extension, but I just think they need another weapon there on the offensive side of the ball. And I think they'll be fine. I think if they start off the season poorly with David Carr, they should move in another direction, though. Honestly, that's just my opinion. I don't know how Raiders fans feel about it, but I love me some Al Davis. I love me some John Madden when he was the coach. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders at this point. I really just don't. Chargers at the Broncos. Chargers 20, Broncos 27. I think Malcolm Floyd will be retiring. That dude is one of the biggest receivers. He's probably a guy that other than Randy Moss, that made it so that quarterbacks can just throw the ball up in the air and he's coming down with it. That man has had an unbelievable career, and he deserves some credit for it. Don't know if it's a Hall of Fame career, but he made a lot of plays. I do know that, Gates, even though he was, allegedly suspended, not allegedly, he allegedly took steroids, but he was suspended. But I know that Gates will be a Hall of Famer based on what I've seen him do at the tight end position. I don't know about Malcolm Floyd. But the Chargers really fought hard. Obviously, we know Peyton Manning came in. It's a lot of hysteria about Peyton Manning allegedly being on the HGH list. I just think that if he did take HGH, it went straight to his forehead, because I don't see where else it could have gone. To be honest with you, a lot of people misconstrue the fact that you don't need to be, a diesel brolic animal when you take performance-enhancing drugs. It's just to help with the multiplication of cells and to recover quickly. So he could have used it. I'm not going to go into whether he did it or not until the facts come out, but I'm not going to completely believe him because of what history have shown us in the past. But he did come into this game and show us that Osweiler is a jerk-off. So Osweiler may not be the guy for this team because the experience of Peyton Manning is what made them win that game last night. So it is what it is, bro. But Osweiler should not be the starting quarterback going into the playoffs. I'm sorry. And again, I'm going to reserve judgment until after the Broncos play again, which is after, they're the first seed, because the Patriots can't win a damn game. So they're the number one seed in the AFC. And I would never have thought that 3 weeks back. But, reality has a strong way of slapping us across the face, and that's pretty much what happened. Buccaneers at the Panthers. Buccaneers 10, Panthers 38. Lovie Smith should be a coach that's fired. I don't know how he's still there. Jameis Winston, kudos to him. He had a decent year. You know what I'm saying? He played pretty well. He wasn't as injured as Marcus Mariota. Missing games and things like that. He went out there. He played not too well most of the time, but these are growing pains. It's going to happen like this sometimes, and that's pretty much what it is. As far as everything else goes, I just don't, Doug Martin, those guys, I don't know what's going to go on with the Bucs as long as Lovie Smith is a coach there, because I don't think that he's a good coach. And I think he should be fired right now as this podcast is going on, this NFL recap. And that's just my opinion. I've been saying that forever. I've been saying that since the Chicago Bears. He's just not the guy. He's just not the guy that should be leading a team. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. The Panthers, Cam Newton is definitely the MVP. If Cam Newton doesn't win MVP, something's wrong, bro. This man he has been unbelievable this year. He has solidified himself as the MVP, hands down, all over the place, bro. I am so happy for him. He just recently had a son. Congratulations to him. Nothing but best wishes. And I hope the best for the Carolina Panthers, man, because I just love the fact that, people always count you out. You know, you lose Kelvin Benjamin, and everybody's like, yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know. And then you come out and you do this. I love when people count people out. I love it. And I love when it ends like this. And I just want them to go out there and win. I want them to go out there and show that you're capable of anything if you just believe in yourself and believe in your team and have a strong, solid foundation. And you can achieve anything. And it took some time. It took some time. And I was riding. If you go back to my recaps years back, I was all over Cam Newton because I knew what he was capable of and he just wasn't doing it. Now he is. And he's going to be the NFL MVP. And he better be the NFL MVP. He deserves it. Seahawks at the Cardinals. Seahawks 36, Cardinals 6. I picked the Cardinals to win this game because I didn't think the Cardinals would come out and play like what I originally said Carson Palmer was. Now, I got a lot of flack for this. If you go back to my past recaps before I started giving Carson Palmer credit, I always said Carson Palmer was a bum. He never performs in high 10 situations. I never respected him even when he's with the Bengals. And people were like, bro, he's a great quarterback, this and that. You got the real Carson Palmer. That's what you got yesterday. That was the real Carson Palmer. He couldn't even throw a goddamn screen pass. That's what Carson Palmer is, in my opinion. Now, I tried to give him credit based on the longevity of the season and how he was playing. But I always knew that this is what he was. I'm telling you guys, Carson Palmer will let you down. He will. And people are going to be mad, but I don't care. He will let you down. Just look at his history. All those stats, okay, great. He doesn't perform when it's needed. He doesn't perform when it's necessary. Trust me. Trust me when I tell you that. That's why I've been saying it forever. This guy's a freaking bum. And that's exactly how he played yesterday. Exactly how he played yesterday. The Seahawks on the other side, listen, I've been telling you guys this. The Seahawks are dangerous because they have the experience, they have the coaching, and they have something to prove from that horrendous ending to a Super Bowl last year. You know what I'm saying? Well, this year, because it was played this year, but it's just, I don't know. I've been saying this. The Seahawks are a very, very dangerous team, bro. And when Russell Wilson is throwing dots from the pocket, when everybody said he's so short, he can't throw from the pocket, you better watch out for these Seahawks, bro. I'm telling you, listen, Jimmy Graham being hurt was the best thing for the Seahawks. They have to release him. I hope they don't bring him back. And if they do bring him back, they need to list him as a wide receiver. Do not have that man blocking and doing stuff that he doesn't want to do. He does not. He's a basketball player playing football. He does not want to play around and be messing around with guys and all kinds of blocking with fat-ass linemen. He doesn't want to do that. Put him where he should be. And the Seahawks will be fine. And they bring him back as a tight end, the Seahawks will continue to struggle. But once again, I will reserve judgment about the Seahawks until after the first round of the playoffs, in which I do believe they will win the game. Rams at 49ers. Rams 16, 49ers 19. I don't know how Jeff Fisher's still a coach there. I wanted to say congratulations to Todd Gurley. You're having an unbelievable season. Tomasula was fired, and so should have Jeff Fisher should have been fired as well. These two teams, I don't know where either one of them are going. I know the Rams have an unbelievable defensive line, a pretty good secondary, and their offense, they need the quarterback. Nick Foles was the wrong choice. Pretty much they wanted to give him extensions after what they saw in preseason. All kinds of dumb crap was going on. He's not that guy. I'm going to tell you this right now. The St. Louis Rams, they need to fire Jeff Fisher ASAP. And that's all I'm going to say about the team. And a lot of good things will happen after Jeff Fisher is fired. The 49ers, Tom Sula is fired. I don't know why the hell he was the coach to begin with. I don't know what the hell they were doing. You get rid of Jim Harbaugh for a guy that was mopping the locker room floors. It doesn't make any sense. He looked stupid. He looked like in The Godfather when he had the cotton balls in his mouth. He just looked so damn stupid. He deserved to be fired. I do not want to see him on any other team in any other staffing position. Just for a little bit, bro. Give the fans a time to relax and not see his face a little bit anywhere. He just looked like a complete idiot. Put him in the boxing place, away from everything, and just let him do something. I'm not saying the man shouldn't make money because he's knowledgeable of the game. I'm just saying that we don't need to see his face right now. and this game didn't really mean anything, so that's pretty much where I'm leaving it. The 49ers need to do a lot of rebuilding. They need to change offensively and defensively. Kaepernick needs to be released and get another start for us to see if he's truly a bum. And, you know, the 49ers, again, they have a lot of rebuilding to do. And that's pretty much it. The Rams, fire Jeff Fisher and all your dreams will come true. Vikings at Packers. Vikings 20, Packers 13. This was our final game. Aaron Rodgers, man, I don't know. I think the Packers are going to lose whenever they play. Whoever they play, I think they're just going to lose in the first round. Just say whatever and just keep it moving. The Vikings, Teddy Bridgewater, bro, he just makes some bad throws sometimes that really upsets me. And for that reason, I think they're going to have to really make him a game manager in the playoffs in order to win, at all. Because I don't know what the hell he's doing most of the times. Has he played sufficiently enough of them to win and not make turnovers to cost them the game? Absolutely. But at the same time, this man will make some ridiculous Jay Cutler-ish throws at any given time. And I don't understand. They should have ran away with this game a lot better, whatever, but both of these teams are in the playoffs, all right? We're going to go ahead and go to the playoff bracket in a second where I give you my picks, but I don't like the Packers going into the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers has been playing, I don't know what it is, man. He's had a decent year based on Aaron Rodgers, based on regular quarterback stats, not on Aaron Rodgers standards. And I know Jordy Nelson is injured, blah, 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 all that crap, but the Packers have looked horrible. All they've been doing is losing at home, stuff that never happens they've been doing. And I don't know about them. As far as the Vikings go, Adrian Peterson should be all right. I know they had him, doing stuff to his back and stuff like that. I wouldn't read too much into it. I know AP will be there for the playoffs. I just don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. But I'm going to tell you this right now before we get to the picks. I don't like the Packers doing anything. Let me just say that. The Packers are not going to do any kind of craziness. They're going to win if they're expected to win, but they're not beating, they're not going to the Super Bowl. Not with the way that team is playing. So we're going to go ahead and check out really quickly the postseason, and we're going to move on to that really quickly and see what we have, see what's going on with that situation, and we should be able to determine what's going to be happening at this point with the games that are going to be getting played right now. So we're going to be starting off Wild Card Weekend, January 9th at 4:35 p.m. with the Chiefs at the Texans. You know what? I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs to win this game. I just don't know what the D line for the Texans are going to do. Maybe this is a game where Jadeveon Clowney steps up and starts acting like he can really play football. Who knows? I'm just going to go ahead and ride with the Chiefs. Let's just be honest about it. Jamal Charles is not there, and they're still running the ball the same way, over 100 yards, whatever, doing what they got to do. They have a passing game. Jeremy Maclin has stepped up. Alex Smith looking good. Brandon Weeden is the quarterback of the Texans. I understand that he's playing better with the Texans than he did with the Cowboys. He's still Brandon Weeden. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. Steelers at Bengals. See, this game right here, wow. This is going to be look, I'm taking the Steelers. I don't believe in the Bengals. I don't believe in Marvin Lewis. I'm taking the Steelers. That's it. Have you seen Marvin Lewis's face? That's why I'm picking the Steelers to win. Seahawks at Vikings. Can the Vikings win this game? Absolutely. Will they? No. No, they won't. The Seahawks should destroy them rather easily, in my opinion. And I feel bad to say that to the Vikings fans, but Teddy Bridgewater's not getting away from that fast, juiced up defensive line. And the way that, this guy is playing right now, Russell Wilson, I'll take Russell Wilson. I'm going based on quarterbacks. I'm going to definitely take Russell Wilson over Teddy Bridgewater. And with the Steelers, as far as quarterbacks go, I got to take Ben Roethlisberger over A.J. McCarron or, the redhead Andy Dalton. Both of those guys suck. So I got to go with Ben Roethlisberger and hope that he's going to prove to win the game. The Steelers have way too many receivers. I'm just letting you guys understand it. They have way too many receivers, and it starts off with Antonio Brown, who's just a vicious animal, bro. He's always open no matter what. That's a problem. So I'm going to go Steelers, and I'm going to take the Packers to beat the Redskins. It's not that I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. It's just that I don't believe that Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers would lose to the Redskins, bro. If the Packers lose to the Redskins, yo, I'm done. I'm done picking games, bro. I'm never gonna pick any more games. If the Packers lose to the Redskins, I'm gonna have to take a week off of picking games, bro. Because I just don't see how it can happen. I don't see it. And I'm looking right at it. It looks like every away team is going to win on Saturday and Sunday of this coming week. That's just my opinion. If the Packers lose to the Redskins, bro, I'll be very, very disappointed. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say the Packers might lose to the Redskins just because of how god-awful Aaron Rodgers and the team has been playing. You know, I'm going to pick that one upset because I think it's going to be an upset with the Redskins. I'm going to take the Redskins to win this game. F this. F the world. I'm going with the Redskins. And that's the bottom line. That has been your NFL season wrap-up with Week 17 and the NFL playoff picture and picks for this coming weekend with the wild card playoffs in the NFL. Definitely follow me on Twitter at GmiasWorld. Download these podcasts on iTunes and Android at GmiasWorld Podcast. And enjoy your week. Until next time, one love.